Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, I want you to picture someone for a second. If I said there's a guy who runs a business empire, we're talking hundreds of millions in revenue, who basically invented a whole new media genre and who has like more influence on kids than any politician, who do you see?
Oh, easy. You're picturing a tech mogul, right? Someone in a fleece vest, a Bezos, a Zuckerberg type.
Exactly, someone in a boardroom.
Yeah.
You definitely are not picturing a 26-year-old from North Carolina
Oh,
who spends his time, recreating Squid Game or burying himself alive for fun.
no, that is definitely not the image that comes to mind. But of course, we're talking about Jimmy Donaldson,
MrBeast.
the one and only MrBeast.
He is, without a doubt, the face of the internet. There's no debate. But,
Yep.
and this is why we're doing this today, we're not here to talk about the subscriber counts or the flashy stunts.
Right. We've all seen the Lamborghini giveaways.
We've all seen them. We're here to look at something a lot darker, or at least way more complex. We've just torn apart this incredibly raw interview he did on The Diary of a CEO.
And it completely changed how I see him, honestly. Our mission today is to really get into the cost, the physical, the psychological price tag that comes with being the biggest YouTuber on the planet.
It really gets to the central question, doesn't it? Is this kind of success just about, being smart or getting lucky?
Or is it something else? Is it about a specific kind of neurodivergence? A willingness to suffer that most of us just don't have?
A business philosophy that would just break a normal person.
It would. I mean, just the scale of it all. This isn't just a kid with a camera anymore.
Oh, it's a machine, a full-blown conglomerate. His chocolate brand, Feastables, that alone does 9 figures in revenue.
9 figures.
He's 26. He has hundreds of employees. He's managing budgets that are bigger than some TV networks.
And yet, and this is the part that just floored me, when the interviewer asked him, straight up, "Are you happy?"
No hesitation.
What did he say?
He just said, quote, "So far more unhappy than happy."
Wow. More unhappy than happy. It's a heavy place to start.
It really is.
Wow.
So let's unpack that. Where does this engine come from? Because you don't just wake up and decide to build 1,000 towers for a YouTube video. There's got to be a driver.
And he's actually very clear about it in the interview. His origin story isn't about being some child prodigy who loved the camera.
No.
He describes himself as a confused child. He uses the word freak a lot.
A freak, really?
Yeah, he didn't fit in. He'd look at people around him, and he couldn't get why they didn't have this like burning desire to build things and optimize everything. He felt like an alien.
And there was a real catalyst for that, right? It wasn't just personality.
No, it was trauma. Back in 2008, he was 11 years old.
And his family went bankrupt.
They lost everything.
For a kid that age, 2008 was brutal for everyone, but for an 11-year-old to see that, that changes you.
It rewires you completely. He watched his mom work 2 jobs, just exhausted, barely getting by. And he said that just flipped a switch.
So YouTube wasn't about fame?
Not at all. He's very clear on that. He saw it as a mathematical problem to solve. He wanted to retire his mom, pay her back.
And he was so stubborn about it, the story with his mom.
Oh, yeah.
Her literally crying, begging him, please, just do your homework, go to college.
The safe path.
And he'd just look at her and say, if you want the homework done, you do it.
That is so intense.
Yeah, few obsession. He told himself, I'm going to be a YouTuber. I'm going to die trying. And he meant it.
And he almost did. I mean, there's another layer to this hard mode life he talks about. At 15.
Crohn's disease.
Yeah, right when he's trying to get this all off the ground, he gets diagnosed with Crohn's.
And let's be clear, Crohn's isn't just a stomach ache. Your own immune system is attacking your gut.
It's brutal. He said it was a living nightmare. He lost 50 pounds, just like instantly.
Yeah.
Went from 190 down to 139.
All his muscle gone.
And the treatment for it, the medication, it basically just nukes your immune system.
Which is why he's always sick.
Constantly.
He said he's had COVID 6 times.
6 times.
The flu, shingles, you name it. His body is always fighting him. He literally said, if you wake up and you have energy, you're already leaps and bounds ahead of me.
And you think about that. Trying to conquer the internet while you feel like you have the flu every single day of your life.
But in a weird way, that's what focused him.
It had to. He couldn't play baseball anymore. He couldn't really socialize. So all that energy, every last drop, went into the computer.
Which brings up that legendary story from when he was a teenager. He found this little group of other, as he calls them, lunatics.
Small YouTubers just as obsessed as he was.
But this wasn't just a group chat. This was like a research lab.
A forensic lab.
Exactly. They'd get on Skype to just reverse engineer viral videos. He talks about one call that lasted 18 hours straight.
18 hours.
From 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. the next day. They hung up, slept, and got right back on the call.
That is just a different level of dedication.
They were drilling into the data. Why did this video get 10 million views and this one only got 10,000? Was the thumbnail color wrong? Was the intro 2 seconds too long?
So his success, it's not magic, it's not luck. It's this mix of desperation, physical limits, and just a complete refusal to live a normal life.
He calls himself a freak, and I think he means it as a compliment.
Yeah, you have to be an outlier to get outlier results. That's his whole thing.
Which leads right into his actual content philosophy, the purple cow theory.
It's a Seth Godin idea, but Jimmy's taken it to an insane extreme.
The concept is so simple. You're driving, you see a cow, you don't care, you keep driving.
It's just a cow. But if you see a purple cow,
you slam on the brakes.
you take a picture, you call everyone you know, you will not believe what I just saw.
And that is the bar for every single video. It has to be the purple cow. It has to be something that's never been done.
Which sounds cool until you hear about the reality of it, like with his new Amazon show, Beast Games.
Oh my God, this part of the interview.
It's insane. Largest reality show ever. 1,000 contestants, $5 million prize. Amazon gave him a huge budget.
But here's the thing he revealed.
Yeah.
He personally lost tens of millions of dollars making it.
That's the part that just breaks my brain. He's making a show for Amazon, one of the richest companies in the world, and he's paying out of his own pocket. Why?
Because he had to make it perfect.
Yeah.
The details are nuts. For episode 1, they built 1,000 10-foot-tall towers, had to safety test every single one. For episode 2, they built an entire city.
The logistics must have been a nightmare.
They broke the world record for most camera cables on a set. They had to call Adobe,
The company,
and ask them to write custom code because their software, Premiere Pro, just kept crashing. It couldn't handle the data from 1,000 cameras.
So he's so big, he's literally breaking the technology used to make content.
And most people would see that financial loss, $20 million or whatever it was, and call it a failure.
Of course.
But he's not playing that game. He said he didn't care about profit for season 1. He cared about reputation.
It was a long game.
He was terrified that if he, a YouTuber, failed, no streaming service would ever trust a creator again. He was willing to burn his own money to legitimize the entire industry.
The weight of that.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. And it's not just the big stuff. This obsession goes into the tiniest details. Like with Feastables, the chocolate company.
This was my favorite story. It just completely shatters the idea of the hands-off celebrity CEO.
Right, where you just slap your name on a product and collect a check.
Not Jimmy. So Feastable's doing great, but he notices a problem. He goes into a Walmart, and he sees his chocolate bars are broken on the shelves. The display is a mess.
A normal CEO sends an email, or just ignores it because it's selling.
Right. But Jimmy, he went into spy mode.
Time mode.
He couldn't get the security footage from Walmart to see how the bars were breaking, so he built his own surveillance network.
You're kidding.
No. He paid people to go into Walmarts, buy a bag of chips, hide a GoPro in the bag, and then put it on the shelf across from the chocolate.
He was spying on the candy aisle with chip bags?
He was gathering his own user data. And he sat there and he watched the footage. Found out the box design was the problem.
So it wasn't shipping, it was the customer interaction.
Exactly. When you grabbed one bar, the others would slide out and fall. But here's the craziest part.
There's more.
Before they could fix the packaging, he spent $100,000 a week.
A week?
A week. Hiring people to go into every single Walmart in America just to tidy the shelves and take away the broken bars.
That's almost $500,000 a month on tidying.
Yeah.
Just because he couldn't stand the thought of a customer having a bad experience.
And he does it himself. He told the story about flying into D.C., renting a car, and just driving all the way back home to North Carolina, stopping at 30 different Walmarts on the way.
Just to check the shelves.
Just to see it himself. He says you have to know every single piece of the business from the farm to the shelf. No middle management reports.
Speaking of farms, that brings us to the much darker side of the chocolate industry.
And what he calls the paradox of philanthropy.
It's a heavy topic.
Yeah.
But he found out that most of the world's cocoa comes from West Africa, and there's like 1.5 million children in child labor on those farms.
And typical Jimmy, he doesn't just tweet about it. He goes there. He meets with the giant chocolate companies and asks them, hey, can I pay you more to guarantee no child labor?
And what did they say?
No, it is what it is. The supply chain is too messy.
Wow.
So his goal with Feastables now isn't just selling chocolate. It's to prove you can build a billion-dollar company without child labor and force the rest of the industry to change.
It's such a noble goal, but this is where the story gets so weird. Because you'd think doing that, or curing blindness, would make you a hero.
But he has found the exact opposite is true. He calls it the hate for helping.
It's this bizarre contradiction he pointed out. If he makes a video and buys a $10 million boat or blows up a car,
People cheer. They love it.
they love the spectacle. But if he posts a video where he builds 100 wells in Africa or cures 1,000 people of blindness,
He gets attacked. Viciously. He says he gets thousands of messages telling him to kill himself after his charity videos.
why? I don't get that.
Right.
Why would helping people make you a target?
His theory, and I think he's spot on, is that we've all become so cynical, we're conditioned to think any kind of altruism must have an ulterior motive.
So people think, oh, he's just exploiting blind people for views.
But
But blowing up a car is somehow more honest entertainment.
exactly, because
Right.
it's just pure spectacle. He was so blunt about it. He said, if you want to be liked, don't help people.
That is just such a dark takeaway on our culture.
It's really sad. But he basically says, a world where he helps people is better than one where he doesn't, so he's just going to ignore the hate. He's deciding what's moral, not Twitter.
So you have this guy who's physically sick all the time, losing millions of his own money, getting death threats for charity work. We have to go back to the main question
Is he happy?
and his answer.
If my mental health was a party, I wouldn't be as successful as I am.
That's a haunting quote, isn't it?
It really is. It implies his success literally depends on him being, not okay.
A lack of peace. He admits he's isolated, that most people would be miserable inside his head because it never, ever turns off. It's just a constant loop of problems to solve.
He described his schedule for just that week, and I got tired just listening. South Africa for lions, then a hospital for the flu.
Then straight to Florida to film, then North Carolina, then San Francisco with Steph Curry, then Snake Island. He doesn't even know what time zone he's in.
And the sleep deprivation, he says, it's killing him. But that's the price. He thinks his ability to just suffer more than anyone else is his competitive advantage.
He's willing to be more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But he did mention one bright spot, his fiancée, Thea.
Yeah, but even the way he talked about that was so... Jimmy,
He described their relationship as frictionless.
frictionless. It sounds like an engineering term, right? Like a ball bearing, not a person.
It does. But I think for him, that's the highest possible compliment.
I think you're right. He said she's smart and has her own life, but she molds it around his. She travels with him. She learns about his interests. He couldn't be with someone who demanded he compromise on work.
So everything, even love, has to serve the mission.
The mission eats everything. He wants to have kids, but not yet. He knows he's not present enough. He's married to the work.
And he wants that from his team, too. He calls them A players.
His math on this is amazing. He says investing in an employee for 4 years, just downloading his brain into theirs, to get 9 years of dividends from them. He calls that the 8th wonder of the world.
He has absolutely zero tolerance for mediocrity.
Mm-hmm.
He said the worst employee isn't the bad one, you just fire them.
It's the mediocre one.
Because they stay.
Mm-hmm.
And they just drag the culture down. He only wants people who are obsessed and coachable,
He just wants an army of himself.
basically. Which brings us to the future. Most people build a company like this to sell it. That's the dream, right? Sell for $1 billion, retire.
He says he will never sell Feastables, not for billions.
Because he knows any buyer would immediately cut the ethical sourcing to boost the profit margin.
So he's locked in, he's built this treadmill, set it to the highest speed, and now he can't get off.
It's like a prison of his own making. A beautiful, successful prison.
That's a perfect way to put it. So to wrap this up, you have this portrait of a man who started as a kid who just didn't fit in, a freak.
And he solved that by just remaking the entire world to fit his vision.
He's achieved a level of success that shouldn't even be possible. But the cost, it's right there. He's physically fragile, he's often unhappy, and he's living under this immense pressure.
It makes you really rethink the whole dream of being a billionaire or a huge star. We only ever see the highlight reel.
Right, not the immune-suppressing drugs and the sand fleas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thought we have to leave you with. Jimmy said something in that interview. He said, we all look at him and we envy the views and the money. But then he says explicitly that no one would actually want to live his life.
No one would want to be inside his head.
It's such a powerful warning from the guy at the very top of the mountain. We all say we want to change the world, but if the price for that is constant physical suffering and isolation and a mind that just will not be quiet.
Is that a price you'd actually be willing to pay?
Something to think about.
It is. That's it for this deep dive. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.